What do you do when you have absolutely no ambition? Plus 11-year update. I am not the oop. Oop is you, Omgarm. What do you do when you have absolutely no ambition? Originally posted to r/self. Original post December 21st, 2011. What do you do when you don't want to do anything with your life? If there isn't a single thing you want to achieve before you die. If there's absolutely nothing you would consider doing for a living because it all seems dreadfully boring? I can decide if things are a good or bad idea. I can consider short and long-term effects of my actions and decisions. I can tell if people are making the wrong call, and I can tell if I don't like something. What I can't do is think of anything I want to do. I've been through school, picked the most interesting classes, physics, maths and chemistry, and did those. Now I'm in college and I easily passed my classes. But now that I'm graduating, I am close to failure because I simply don't want to work at my internship. I don't want to figure out what to do next for this assignment, and I sure as hell don't want to work overtime. I've been on Get Motivated to see if that helped, and my short burst of motivation lasted 10 minutes. In this time I typed 10 lines for my final report and then quit. People say you should pick small goals first. Like lose X pounds. Take up an old hobby or whatever. But I don't even have small goals. Do I pick up other people's goals and hopefully end up with some of my own? Is that how you get ambitious? I don't know what to do, and it doesn't bother me all that much. Because I have nothing planned anyway. At this point I'm sure I am on the path that will only lead to disappointing everybody. Right now my rational mind has decided that finishing my education would be the best course. With a degree and smaller debt I would be much better off figuring things out than without a degree. And nearly twice as much debt. If there's anybody reading this who isn't sure what to do, but does have life goals, hold on to them. Don't let them go. I feel empty and it's not even all that depressing. Keep going and don't let people stop you. 11-year update January 21st, 2023. I didn't think I would ever update, but I got a comment yesterday, so why not? 11 years ago I posted this. Original post. TL. Doctor. Fucked around. Failed internship. Did one right after while depressed. Gamed until broke. Found random easy job for 4 years. Got urged to work with physics and found my second job. Lost that job in 2020 'cause COVID. Lived on unemployment until next job. Tested software for a year. Didn't like it. Now I work for the government. Motto. During all work and internships I realized I enjoy helping and supporting people. I still have no career ambition, but I do enjoy feeling useful. And money. And that is what makes me work. To this day I struggle with working and regularly do nothing for entire days. Long post. After that post I eventually failed my internship. Looking back I was definitely depressed at the time. The next semester was starting soon and I quickly found a new one with the help from my college. It was the same field of work I did an earlier internship in. Context. In the Netherlands you need to intern for 2 semesters to get a 4-year bachelor's degree. 2 internships back to back with that mental state was hard, but I somehow did it and got my degree. In September 2012. After that I was done and just played Guild Wars 2 for months. Status. 23. Unemployed and living with my parents. After a month or 2 I started applying. And with that I mean at first I just contacted recruiters because I had no idea what I would want to do besides laze around at home. As I saw my money slowly dwindle with no income or much of a career drive, I applied to pretty much anything. Which is how I got a job. The first 4 years I worked as a planner for school and elderly transportation. It was well below my level, so I could just browse the internet all day and do my work whenever. Unless there were immediate problems. That is pretty much what I did there. Having the skills to tackle my workload within a few minutes felt good, and I enjoyed having an income. Still, I had no ambition to advance as a planner. Nor did I want to be a manager or team lead in that field. So after a bit over 4 years, I felt an urge to find a job related to my physics degree. Status: 27. Renting with a friend. Mediocre job. When talking with a recruiter, he thought of a job I would be good at. I mentioned how I liked solving puzzles and physics, and that got me to work as a data analyst for a company inspecting pipelines. Really, it was just looking at sound wave echoes, but it required decent knowledge of physics and pipelines. Oil and gas was not an industry I particularly enjoyed. We did a lot for, at the time, Saudi Aramco, which gave me some moral issues. There was also no way the industry would be big enough to last me, a mediocre employee, until the end of my career. Then in 2020, COVID killed the market and my employer had to downsize and get rid of many people, including me. Status: 30. On unemployment. Living within an apartment with a student 10 years younger. The settlement I got was pretty good, and being on unemployment meant I could take my time to find something. It also gave me time to finally play The Witcher 3 a lot. I relaxed for a few months. First 2 were paid because of the settlement. Before I started applying, it took a while, but I got 2 interesting offers in May of 2021. One was a big, stable company with a relatively easy job, and the other was a small startup where I would have to learn various things. Everything about the first one would be the best thing for a lazy guy with no ambition. So I went with the other one. Because pushing yourself out of your comfort zone is good, right? Somehow I also met my girlfriend right before I got this job, so everything changed at once. At this point I was vastly underpaid compared to peers, and no job made much sense compared to the other. Also, I didn't really like the company or programming, testing software. My boss was a conspiracy theorist, which made me want to scream. During this job I did manage to pay off my student loans though. That was a relief. At this point it became really clear to me that if my work was, "Hey, can you work hard and finish this?" then I would hate it. But if it was, "Hey, can you do this to help me?" then I would do it. Because I still have no internal drive for greatness. But I do enjoy helping and supporting people. Last summer news came that the company was no doing so hot, so I went back at it. Applying again. Switching fields again. This time I saw job openings for acoustic advisors. There was also a government agency looking for this function. Working for the government is helping literally everyone, I figured. So I applied for these jobs. Failed 2 interviews. One said they didn't feel my passion for the field, which makes sense because it's true. But they did like my attitude at the government. Willing to help. Feel useful. That was a bug thing. So a few months ago I started there. Status: 33. Looking to buy a house with my girlfriend and have a job I enjoy. I am not the OOP. Reading original post. Ah man, I can totally relate. Can't wait to see how OOP turned it all around and got super motivated after his post. Reading the second post. Ah yeah, that tracks. I have very similar motivation issues. At 39 I got a surprise ADHD diagnosis. And now my lack of internal drive when people aren't urgently relying on me makes more sense. Status: also 33. Can't afford a house. Had a boyfriend a few years ago but he died. Don't like my job. Did manage to gain 60 pounds, so I have reserves if I ever rage quit and go homeless. Ambition is one of the most overrated personality traits out there. Unchecked it leads to catastrophe. Kept in bounds it can still lead to self-doubt and feelings of inadequacy. I think a lot of people would be better off without it. The desire to earn a comfortable living in a decent job I count as covering basic needs. That being said, when Mons was like, I don't have any hobbies and I don't see the point of doing anything ever, I was like, sir, that's the depression. Since this guy explained how he gets in the zone, I'm going to as well. What gets me in the zone in my job is just work. If things aren't done, I do them. I do them as fast and as hard as I can. Because then it starts to feel like a workout. When I have a lot to do, I'm happy as a clam. When things are pretty much done, I'm bored. I hate it. It just makes me feel like I shouldn't be there. Man, I get this guy. I have no motivation or ambition for anything. I have both mental and physical health problems. Being treated for both, but it's still a struggle. And I wish I could do remote work, but it feels like everything requires experience that I don't have. I wish that college degrees weren't so necessary for everything, because with my health issues I really don't know if I could do college well. I'm not good at anything and I don't have interest in anything, and I feel like I'm just going to waste my life forcing family to deal with me while I don't contribute. God, I hope I'll manage to at least figure something out like this guy did. Feels like looking into a mirror, sorta. The video games saved this man. Nice smiley face. This reminds me a lot of myself. Reading these comments is helpful and insightful. Both posts combined gave me like 100 karma over 11 years, and you just rake in 20 times that. I'd be upset if I had karma ambition. Honestly, the most life-changing thing anyone ever told me was that it's okay if you don't have a passion that drives you, and if the only thing you really aspire to be is paid. I feel that. I find it super hard to sit down and do job applications because the idea of spending the rest of my life in a job makes me want to cry. But not having a job and watching my funds drain is pretty awful too, lol. I had my first interview with a job where I'd work with disabled people on advocating for their needs, and I'd love that. I think being able to be directly involved with helping people. The thing that sucks about job applications though is there's no such thing as a runner-up. You can be 100 jobs second choice, but it doesn't matter. You still don't have a job. You have to win, or you lose. I don't have ambitions when I grew up. Just kept going until this day, working on fields that has the lowest stress level for me. At least at most times. But still able to support myself and my sisters. I don't really care or get jealous to people with high-paying job. Because I know the stress level must be through the roof. I know people consider success equals money, and I'm okay to be viewed as not successful by most people's standard. I can relate. I stumbled around without ambition myself. Always landed on my feet. Quote, I still have no internal drive for greatness. But I do enjoy helping and supporting people. I have never felt more seen than reading this sentence. I like the idea of greatness until I start getting any kind of attention, and then I just want to fade back into the background. And because of that, all my jobs have had me supporting people who are great, and I have gotten a lot of satisfaction from that. I'm only motivated by desperate fear of homelessness. I think it's what gets a lot of people out of bed and to work every day. This is like watching the movie Boyhood. I wish I saw this when I was younger. I was terrified if I wasn't super successful I'd end up homeless or something. People had high expectations and I was terrified what would happen if I failed them. But there's plenty of regular people that get on just fine without all the stress I always saddled myself with when I was younger. This sort of story is comforting. You can make mistakes. You can fail. You can be lazy and it can work out, and you can even find happiness. Like, sure, his life isn't perfect, but no one's is. And he's not homeless like I was always terrified of being. I never wanted to be something special, I just wanted safety and security and the time and energy to be happy, which I believed I couldn't have unless I did everything exactly right. Me, a person with ADHD, reading this. This man has ADHD. The no motivation. The only being able to do things if they're immediately helping other people. The chopping and changing of interests. I recognize so many elements of myself in him, which have now improved thanks to treatment. I don't know where I was going with this. Classic. But I wish Oop the very best.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Ericast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.